I'm recording, Liam. So, Liam, what's your first meal after a fight normally?
I usually have breakfast in the hotel, the same hotel I've been staying at for the week. Have a good breakfast, usually quite decent to be honest. But then it's when I get home is where the real eating starts. I usually have a cheesecake waiting for me.
Really? Do you eat the whole thing?
100% without fail. I'd always get one ordered like a week before a fight, so it just comes. It comes as they're waiting for me. It's in the freezer, and then my parents will take it out the night before.
Are we talking about a cheesecake like this big?
No, yeah, but not one of them crappy little ones in the box. I mean, like a proper size, good one, like a pizza size one.
Oh, a pizza size one. Okay. And is that it? So you just eat that cheesecake? Is there anything else that's there that you're craving by then?
Oh, to be honest with you, usually there's things that creep up on me in the build up, like somehow randomly I'm not a big McDonald's eater. I'm not usually like overly excited by it, but today I've not been able to stop thinking about McDonald's.
But you resisted it, I take it, yeah?
Of course I have. Yeah. I wish I could have had it, but we're too tight. We can't be messing around with the weight at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any superstitions before a fight?
No, mate. Nah.
You're not superstitious at all, no?
Certain things in general life, I am, but when it comes to fight night, there's nothing really that really stands out to me, you know.
What actor would play you in a film?
Shit. Caught me off guard there because I'm not a big actor kind of guy. I don't know.
Tom Hardy?
That's actually a good one. I like Jason Statham.
He's got no hair though. He's got no hair, so he'd have to have a little wig on.
A wig on him, couldn't we?
Wig and beard.
Yeah, it's some job done.
I thought Tom Hardy. You've got slightly bigger ears than Tom Hardy. Just push his ears out a tiny bit. And then... hey, listen, it's better to have ears than not have them, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can give me a dig. You can give me a dig when you see me for that.
I will.
If you weren't a boxer, what would you be?
A bum.
Really?
Nah, I wouldn't be a bum. I just said that to be honest with you because I don't know. I really don't know. Boxing has been in my blood since I started boxing when I was 9 years old, and I used to work as a roofer.
Okay.
I used to work with my old man, but I never really had any intentions of being a Monday to Friday worker. You know, I always thought I had potential of doing something, you know, sport, boxing.
On those cold winter days then, what's tougher, being in the gym or being up on a roof?
100% rather be in the gym. I'd rather train 5 times a day, you know, than be on that roof all day long. Oh my God.
It's a tough job, isn't it?
It's not one of my strong points, you know, when it comes to cold, I'm a real pussy. Like I don't like it at all. But then you've got my man on the other hand, and he's a machine. Nothing phases him.
Where's your favourite place to fight so far?
It has to be in Wales, in probably where I'm boxing next Saturday. Obviously, it's pretty much home for me. It is home for me, but not, you know, 30 minutes away from home. So yeah, it has to be. And obviously, my last fight was obviously in Miami as well, so that was a very good place. And you know, it was a good place to be.
What scares you the most?
Just what? In,
Is there anything that scares you the most? Be it spiders, Liam, be it spiders in the corner in the bedroom, be it, you know, dreams. What is it? Is there anything?
Do you know what? There's nothing really like that which scares me. The main thing in life which scares me is failing. Do you know the thought of me failing at anything really, at being a good father, like a good partner, a good boxer, whatever. Anything in terms of failing, like, it gives me nightmares. I think, like, nah, bugger that.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I'm on the fence. There must be. I've never had a experience firsthand, but there must be such things, you know, when you see certain programs and certain people's stories and whatnot.
It says, what team do you support? And I'm assuming that's football, but it could always be rugby.
It obviously Wales, and it would have to be Cardiff, really. I'm not really a big football supporter, or any sport for that matter, you know.
And finally, this one or that one, dog or cat?
Dog.
Vegan or meat eater?
Meat.
Coffee,
I actually really like vegan foods myself.
coffee or tea?
Coffee.
TV series or film?
Film.
Have you got a favourite film or something you've seen recently that you really enjoyed?
Do you know, there's a couple of funny ones. Like, going back over the years, there's obviously been a lot of films I've like thought a lot of, but most recently sticks on mind, like maybe a couple of years or whatever. Have you ever seen The Dictator?
No.
And it's funny because I actually watched it night before last. Well, I watched a bit of it before I fell asleep. So there's The Dictator. It's the character of Ali G, yeah. And Step Brothers, seen that?
Yeah, yeah.
Unbelievable film.
Yeah.
Crying all the way through. Laughing my head off. Just so stupid, like.
Liam, it's great to see you and catch up with you ahead of this massive fight in Cardiff next weekend. And of course, TalkSport there. Delighted to be there doing live commentary on this massive fight with Chris Eubank Jr. Have you always had your eyes on the fact that you would be facing this guy in the ring?
Yeah, well, for a good few years, and I've always kind of known that, or expected this fight to happen somewhere along the line. It's got to be like 5, 6 years, I'm guessing. 5, 6, 7 years. We've always kind of been, you know, there've always been little talks, and although he was like one pointed up super middleweight and whatnot, there's always been that possibility. And I think in my mind, I always knew for some reason he was going to fight, you know.
Let me take you back, because let's just look through your career. Let me just take you back to being a young man. I know you've spoken to me in the past and said you were a terror when you were younger, and boxing kind of paved the way for you to be a different person. That you've even said to me, you look back on yourself as a young teenager and you wouldn't like yourself now.
Yeah. Yeah, just you pretty much explained it there, mate. Because for me, I was just I was never like a horrible kid, but I was always likely to be in some kind of bother, you know. I'd be up to one thing or another, get myself in the shit. So I do think boxing played a major part in my life of, you know, kind of keeping me on the right track then. And you know, I've only ever benefited from boxing, I would say.
You told me as well that when you were younger, you really didn't know ever to back down from a fight, be it against men or older kids or bigger kids. What do you think it was in you? That was it a pride thing? Was it, you know, was it just, is it just in you to be a warrior? Are you chosen to do this?
Yeah, I can't explain that to you, to be honest. I've always been the same. Like I would be 15 out, 14, 15 out with my mates, and like we'd all be drinking or something. Like if a fully grown man, 20, 30, 40 years old, could start something, the boys would all shit themselves, and I'd be like, come on, let's have a go. And I'd usually end up cracking him as well. And it's mad because I've actually got two nephews, twins. They're 11 years old. They'll be 12 in February now, and they're very much like me. They're they're not wired up right.
So therefore, will you encourage them to go into the gym?
Yeah, they're actually in the gym already.
There you go.
Which is a good thing for them, I think. And they're likely to fight as well within the first half of this year, I think. So yes, it's good, mate. I think you know, boxing or they play rugby as well, so boxing or rugby could potentially be a good one for them as well, because they'll probably need that kind of direction that I needed myself.
When you look back on it, do you feel that had it not been for boxing, that you could have gone the wrong way, that you could have been in trouble with the police, that you could have really hurt someone, you could have, you know now how dangerous you are physically, you could have ended up in a situation where someone was really badly hurt, or you could end up being an enforcer in the wrong group, or, you know, have you looked back on that?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I haven't really thought too much, you know, because we are where we are, you know, and I'm in a good position, thankfully. But I'm pretty sure that, let's put it this way, if I didn't have boxing, I would have 100% bet on myself to experience going to jail by now. And that's, you know, and I don't want people to think that of, like, you know, I'm not a bad person, but I would have probably done a few things differently. And I would have definitely got myself in some kind of trouble. So, yeah, as I said, I'm thankful for boxing. It's given me, every now and again, I start to go out the line, and then something snaps, and, you know, I'm an athlete, I'm a professional, I'm somebody kids look up to, this, that, or the other, you know.
Is that when people talk about boxing should be abolished then, and boxing's bad for people, and are you one of the advocates in that sense then, that no, it needs to be here in our society, because there are people that instinctively fight other people, and it just allows you to train those natural instincts that you have and change your life, and you're living proof of it?
Yeah, you're totally right, mate. It could, so you could look at it both ways. Boxing is bad. It can be bad for your health. You know, you get punched in the head. I've broke my hands, you know, fractured my hands, God knows how many times. I've had a shoulder operation. I broke my nose. There's been so many things. But I would rather, this is a big quote actually, but I would rather risk my life doing what I'm doing, and people looking up to me, you know, encouraging other youngsters to do better. I would rather do what I'm doing than live an average life, and, you know, potentially be getting in trouble, going out drinking every weekend and fighting or whatever it may be. So I do definitely think that boxing is a big help for a lot of people, and as you said there, definitely myself.
Well, it's been proven over the last few years, as mental health has become a big issue, that people going and training in that way, not even to be professional fighters or even having a fight, just going and training it, absolutely helps their brain and their body and their feel-good factor and their well-being. So, you know, it makes sense. It's a primeval animal instinct in us at some point, isn't it? We've had to survive way back when anyway, so it's there somewhere in our DNA.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely a much happier person than myself. You know, I can't speak for everybody, but when I'm in training and I'm grafting every day and I'm eating tidy and whatnot, I'm a much happier person. I'm a much nicer person as well.
Yeah. Let's talk about your career a little bit. That basically, you know, you've developed this style which is aggressive, come forward, it's in you, it's very natural, but you've got great boxing skills alongside it as well. You know, and you've worked on with different promoters. Dominic Ingle you were close with. Adam Booth is a great technician as well. I know that you get on very closely with him as well now. What for you are the standout moments in your career so far? Obviously, we know about the two fights with Beefy Smith, Liam Smith. The Bubu Andrade fight was a big moment. This is a huge moment. Where are the standout moments in it for you from you know, kind of going through the amateurs and then into the pros and along the way there on that journey?
I just think, you know, I won't go too far back, but I think in terms of standout, certain fights for me, my first kind of breakout fight was when I actually watched Ronnie Heffron, who was obviously Mark Heffron's brother, all them years ago, because everybody was labeling him as the next Ricky Hatton. Obviously same initials and all that business as well, like the new RH. So it was that. Then we had the fights with Liam Smith. They were you know, big publicity fights. Then I lost. The Mark Heffron was a big fight for me.
Yeah.
Meant a lot to me, winning that fight and coming back.
Yeah.
And then obviously my last one as well, as you spoke earlier, I fought in America for the first time. I fought for WBO World Middleweight title. Andrade himself is a 3-time 2-weight world champion. You know, I didn't come away with a win, which is disappointing, but it's experiences. We have ups and downs, and you know, I'm fully planning to bounce back off that bit of a down with a big up next week.
But you did prove in that fight that how much dog is in you against Andrade, and also he must have been one of the trickiest opponents you've ever faced. He's an unusual fighter in that he's strong early on and then almost seems to go into a very defensive shell later on in his contest, and we've seen that time and again, and you knew that and you tried to exploit it at the end of the fight, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a difficult fight, to be honest with you, because as you said at the beginning, he was all over me like a rash. He was swinging for the outs trying to knock me out. And then when he couldn't, so it's like I'm having to adapt. Normally, like a fighter's a fighter, and they generally fight a certain kind of way. But he come at me like a bull out the gate. You know, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I really didn't expect him to come flying at me like that. And then all of a sudden, when I found my feet and started fighting back, he goes on the defensive and he's ducking, diving, slip sliding. He's doing everything he can to possibly stay away from me. So it's harder because obviously I got hurt early in the fight as well. I was down. So I was almost in defensive mode for a couple of rounds. And then when he starts going on the back foot, it's hard to adjust. But yeah, it was a great learning experience, and you know, I did underestimate him, if I'm being honest with you. He's some talent, very, very good.
Has it prepared you well though, in a certain sense? Like you said, you've learned a lot from it for this fight now with Eubank. Yeah,
definitely. You know, in terms of style, they're different, but you know, I've been on the big stage before as well. but like, you know, I've been in against a 3-time world champion, been down early. You know, I went into the fight carrying an injury, so I won, you know, 100%. There's a lot of things which didn't go in my favor, which are back right this time, back perfect. And, you know, so if I can get through them type of fights and put up a good performance, you know, with the kind of preparation that I did, then with everything going perfect this time, it's going to work really well, isn't it?
Well, we cannot wait for this fight because stylistically, it's a fantastic matchup. When you see the shapes of you and him moving together, and you will have studied this, you'll have studied your moves. Do you think you're going to draw him into a battle? Is that what you want? Do you want to dogfight against Eubank? Do you want to break him down? Do you want to have a boxing match? What are we looking at, do you think? Because it could go so many ways given both of your styles.
I think it's inevitable that this fight is going to be a bit of a dogfight. Might be cagey for a couple of rounds, but with his style, and you know, his aggressiveness, and also mine on the other side of the ring, then it's very likely to break out into a good fight, isn't it? So I'm prepared. I'm ready to stand and fight, really, because yeah, if I come to run away and box defensively, could be a very hard night for me because he's going to be in my face, you know. So I need to be ready to stand my ground.
Is there genuine dislike between you and him, do you think? It seems like a real grudge when you two are together. There's, you know, you consider him to be quite arrogant, I think, and you make no pains about that, and you think he's got this personality that he likes to put out there. Did you ever watch his dad box, and were you a fan of Eubank Senior?
I didn't really watch him back in the day, but obviously, you know, as I've become a pro and whatnot, obviously you can see and respect that. But yeah, he was obviously very good showmanship and everything like that. But as for Junior, I honestly really dislike him. There's not many people in this world I hate, yeah, and hate is a strong word to use, but I hate him. I really dislike the guy. Can't stand the sight of him.
What is it about him? What is it that gets under your skin?
I don't even know, Gareth. I look at him and he makes my skin crawl. I just want to kill him.
Really?
Well, kill him is a bit harsh, like,
but metaphorically, you want to knock him out. You want to knock him out, yeah. You want to knock him out, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a good feeling to have going into a camp? Is it an emotionless feeling? Is it a cold feeling that then drives you in camp to be ready for that?
Yeah, you know, it's not too it's not too emotional, whereas it's going to affect me, but like it's emotional in terms of how can I put it? Like it does give me that extra little bit of drive in camp. Then, you know, this morning, for example, I woke up. I'm really tired this morning. I had a hard day yesterday, and I could have quite easily pied the gym off. I really didn't fucking feel like it. And I went in, and once I got going, I was actually flying. I was, you know, I was on form because I'm thinking, no, fuck that. I'm not relaxing. You know, I've got a tough fight. I've got this guy in front of me, and you just get this vision, and it drives you on a bit.
Are you relishing the big stage, a packed out crowd, massive raucous support for you in Cardiff? There'll be a huge Welsh gathering there. And also, it's a moment in time. Joe Calzaghe, Jimmy Wilde, Tommy Farr, Liam Williams is going to be in those names one day because you're still intent on becoming a world champion. So what does it mean to be in Wales in a big fight on Sky that's got a huge projection next week?
Yeah, it's huge. It's amazing. You know, this fight anyway is a good fight and a big fight, like enjoyable for me to be involved in. But the fact that it's in Cardiff as well, which is basically, my hometown. Well, it's not far away anyway, let's put it that way. It's like, it's unbelievable, it's massive. Do you know, on the 5th of February, Cardiff is going to be crazy. There's going to be a lot of mad Welsh supporters there. They're going to blow the roof off.
Will you draw on that? Do you draw on that kind of thing? Does it get more out of you?
Yeah, it's hard not to, isn't it? To be honest with you, when you got thousands of Welsh fans screaming your name, and well, whatever they're going to be screaming, probably not very nice things aimed towards him. Do this to him, do that to him. It's like, you're going to get pumped, and I'm pumped just thinking of it. So, yeah, I think it's going to be exciting, to say the least.
Go on then, finally, what's your view on how this fight goes, and how would you like to finish this fight?
The main prediction for me is I get my hand raised at the end.
Yeah.
However that comes, I fully believe I can hurt him and knock him down, possibly knock him out. But who knows? He is a very tough character, mentally and physically. So I'm preparing to have my hands full. But nevertheless, if it goes 12, I win. If anybody gets knocked out, it's more than likely to be him rather than me.
And do you project yourself towards another world title shot, do you believe, with victory?
Yeah, well, 100%. That's the goal. That's kind of every fighter's goal, isn't it? But I'm honestly not looking past this fight, and I haven't since it was announced. Like, it's a hard fight. I need to win this fight before I make any other plans. I've obviously kind of thought in the back of my mind, if I win this, could be Golovkin, it could be, this or that guy, but it's just kind of back in my thoughts. It's never really. I've got one focus really.
And given that it's been delayed twice, unfortunately, you must be excited that it's finally going to happen on Saturday night.
Yeah, mate, I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm buzzing to get my hands on him more than anything. But I'm also buzzing to have a little bit outside of camp as well, so I can live a bit of a normal life for a couple of weeks or a couple of months or whatever. Maybe I'm gonna go on holidays. Just gonna get a little bit fat probably.
Well, I know you love your cheesecake afterwards, so let's hope you got a nice big fat cheesecake on Sunday morning or Saturday night, Sunday morning after the fight with Eubank.
No doubt I will, mate. I might even go online and choose my favourite one and order it now.
Thanks so much.
I'm frozen in a box.
Thanks so much for joining me, Liam. Cannot wait to see you next week up in Cardiff.
Awesome. Look forward to seeing you too, mate.